Welcome to another update of the passive income portfolio. A few of the companies in my portfolio actually reported earnings this week, namely those companies within my technology pie of the portfolio. And the technology pie makes up a good portion of the entire portfolio. It makes up about 68% of the portfolio. And so whatever happens with these companies usually drive my entire portfolio. And we're going to be talking about the earnings from Microsoft, the earnings from Apple, and the earnings. Well, we already talked about the earnings on Intel. If you want to check that video out, you can check it up right there. But we're going to talk about a couple of news that came out with Intel that I thought was interesting. And it's something that makes me extremely, extremely happy as an Intel shareholder. But we're not going to talk about that. Anyway, let's get right into it. All right? Whoosh. What's going on, people? It's your boy Kalechi back with another video. If this is your first time around these parts, hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy anything that we talk about on this video, hit that like button. Turn that thing, say with me now, blue. But anyway, like I said, we're going to be going through the different companies that reported earnings this week, namely Microsoft, Apple, and Intel. We're going to start off talking about Microsoft, which Microsoft just keeps printing money. This is a company that was founded in 1975 and yet is still growing at 22%. 22% year over year growth. How are you able to do this? How, Sway? How? Like, it's not possible. It shouldn't be possible that this company is able to keep growing like it does. It's literally a fast grower, as one of my favorite investors of all time, Peter Lynch, will call it. A company that's able to grow like this rate. It's unbelievable. And most people find Microsoft to be boring. Apparently, maybe not anymore. We'll talk about that in a second. And the main driver, as you can see, revenue came in at $45 billion versus the expected $43 billion. But the main driver for growth has been Azure Cloud Services. It is growing faster than AWS, which is the one that everyone loves to talk about. Azure has just been kind of under the radar and continues to grow year over year. Like, it just continues to grow. It continues to get more and more businesses to sign on to its service. Like I say, I like to say this, Microsoft is the ultimate B2B business. But the interesting thing, like I said, the market is starting to catch up with the fact that Microsoft is a pretty dope company. Look at this. Microsoft passes Apple to become the world's most valuable company. Apple sits at a market cap of 2.46 trillion as of the recording of this video, while Microsoft has a market cap of $2.49 trillion. Unbelievable stuff. But anyway, speaking of Apple, let's just jump right into it. Apple missed sales expectation because of supply issues. Even the great Apple has one of the best supply chains. Like, the way they are so meticulous with their supply chains, usually they can get away with most things. Usually they can handle things very well, but the supply issues that we're seeing globally, the supply issue that we're seeing all over the world, is starting to affect even Apple. So much so that Tim Cook says that it cost them $6 billion. $6 billion. However, even with that being said, Apple still had a growth rate of 29% on their revenue. And you know what? How the stock market reacted to this news? The stock market saw a temporary situation, and it sent the stock down about 1%. Initially, it sent the stock down almost 4%. It's since recovered because people were like, wait a minute, this is still Apple. Like, what are we doing? Like, why are we selling off of Apple? And so the stock recovered a little bit. But the point is, the fact that the stock market overreacted, in my opinion, to something that's a short-term thing that is not even in the power of Apple, and they sent the stock flying down, I'm just like, doesn't make any sense. The other thing is, it's not like Apple, everybody is saying like iPhone growth is going to slow down. Apple is not going to be able to sell as many iPhones. Look at this. iPhone revenue, $38 billion. I know it was expected to be about $41 billion, but it still grew 47% year over year. And then you look at services. Services is a big part of what Apple is trying to do. That grew 25% year over year. But yet, people sold out on Apple, and people are just starting to lose faith in Apple for something that's a very temporary, short time period oriented thing. Linus Tech is one of the reasons I love him. He's big on PC stuff. He makes a lot of, you've probably, more than likely, you've run into his channel at one point or the other. He has over 14 million subscribers, but he talks about Intel, and he's one of those that is straight up, like, he doesn't nick anything. He says what it is. And when he made this video, I was like, hold up. Did he actually say what I think he said?
Intel is back. It's not quite the way we all expected when Ryzen first hit the scene back in 2017, but I don't think we could have hoped for a better outcome than this. Not just for the consumer, but for the entire industry.
12th Gen Core, codenamed Alder Lake, is like nothing we've ever seen on the PC to date. And I'm getting some serious Ryzen or maybe bulldozer, vibes.
That's just the intro of the video, of just the snippet of what he's talking about, which got me even excited as somebody who, you know, I'm a tech head. I like PC stuff. I like talking about PC stuff. I'm like, whoa, this is pretty cool. And so the whole idea that Intel is dead, that just made me more excited. Now I gotta wait to see how it actually plays out, how Alder Lake actually plays out when it comes out, to see if Intel is actually back in their game and see if Intel is actually ready to start fighting back against AMD. So it's gonna be interesting to see it. But when I saw this video, I was like, yo, this is awesome. And this is amazing. But anyway, that is that. But the other thing about Intel that I saw recently is Intel insiders are buying stock in the company. There's numerous of reasons that people will sell a stock in a company. Maybe they need the money to be able to pay for their kids' college or whatever. But there's only one reason we ever buy a stock. We believe it's going to go up. And so when I saw this news that CEO Pat Gelsinger and other Intel insiders bought up to $2.5 million worth of stock, I got really excited, especially when the CEO is doing it. Check this out. So the CEO, Pat Gelsinger, he bought $500,000 worth of Intel stock. And then two of the directors bought over, like Director James Gotts, he bought almost $1 million worth of stock. And then Dion Weisler, he bought almost 500,000, if not more than $500,000 worth of Intel stock as well. So we're seeing like people who know what's going on within the company, who understand the operations of the company, are seeing what's going on and being like, yo, we need to buy into this thing. Like at the prices that it's in right now, we need to be buying into this company. We need to be making sure that we're buying and acquiring more of this company, because right now it's too cheap and we can acquire this and own this company as we know what is going on the inside. This is usually a good sign for the company. So I'm excited. But anyway, that's all I got for y'all. The only other thing that I was going to share with y'all is where I am right now, is just to show you this trend of the dividends that I'm earning over time. It's continuing to go to the right direction, up and to the right. That's where we want to see it go. And for last month, I earned $4.78. As you can see, it's more than I earned all of last year. So it's great to see this number continue to creep up, and we'll just continue earning these dividends and growing this portfolio, and it will become what we call it, the passive income portfolio eventually. But anyway, that's all I got for y'all. I hope y'all learned one, maybe two things out of this entire thing. And if you did, hit that like button. If you loved it, hit the subscribe button. But I'm gonna catch y'all up in the next one. Remember, generosity is always greater than greed. God bless each and every single one of y'all, and your boy is out of here. Peace. Whoosh.